Well, hello, rock tumbling fanatics, Lapidary lovers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Once again, it's time to look inside one of my tumblers. And what are we going to look at today? Today, we're going to look at what's going on in my little 3-pound special projects tumbler over here. And this has my Leopard Skin Jasper in it. And it is done. Finally. Oh, it's been a long road to hoe with this Leopard Skin Jasper. It's done. So I'm going to do like I usually do. I'm going to dump the stuff out, rinse off the rocks. We'll give them a quick ultrasonic bath, then we'll take a close-up look at them under the lights over at the lab bench and see how we did with this Leopard Skin Jasper. It has been a tough tumble. All right, so let me get started and I'll meet you over at the lab bench. So I may have forgot to mention up front that I'm going to burnish these before we do anything else with them. So we got the Leopard Skin Jasper in here. So I've got some of this Four Peaks Amethyst in here that my buddy Jim sent me that I've added in here as tumbling media because it doesn't beat up the Leopard Skin Jasper too bad because the amethyst is fairly soft. And I've got some of these ceramic beads in here too. But anyway, I'm going to put this all back in the tumbler drum over here. I'm going to add some water and borax to it, and we will burnish it. Just let it run on the tumbler for a few hours. And then dump these out, rinse them off good. I'll ultrasonic them too, just so you know what all's coming at you. And then we will have a close-up look at the rocks and see how I did with the polish. Back in there, put some water in there. Ooh, way too much. Dump some of that off. Okay. Still, I'm going to add a little more than I usually do, just because I don't want the rocks crashing into each other too hard at this stage of the game and beating each other up. There's a big scoop. And there's a not so big scoop. That ought to be enough on this small tumbler drum. Now let me get it lidded up and get it spinning again for a few hours. And then once they come out of that and go through the ultrasonic, they should be about as clean as I can possibly make them. All right, get this going again. Okay, this stuff's had a few hours of burnishing. I'll rinse them off again, and they will go into the ultrasonic cleaner, and then we'll have a look at them. Alrighty, so here we go. They're all burnished. They are all rinsed off. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in the ultrasonic cleaner and clean them up really good. I'm going to put the amethyst in there too. I was using the amethyst as tumbling media, but I don't think it actually got as nicely tumbled as the Leopard Skin Jasper did. So this stuff may get set aside and use this tumbling media again, or go back in like maybe stage 2 and get cleaned up a little better and then run all the way through, one or the other. Anyway, let me get this stuff out of here and into the ultrasonic cleaner. Get it all cleaned up, just as clean as we can. We'll dry them off and have a look at them dry and see what they look like. And look at them with a really critical eye, because this Leopard Skin Jasper has been a tough tumble, let me tell you. And no end of trouble with it. And I haven't had a chance to look at it now that it's been in final polish for about 3 weeks. We'll see just how I did. I'm going out of town soon, so it's got to move on out of the tumbler. I can't just let it sit there while I'm gone, or all that stuff will just harden up like concrete. Alright, so got them in the basket in there. We're going to put a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid in there. And start it up. And oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're getting the cerium oxide polish out of the nooks and crannies. It looks like especially the nooks and crannies on the Amethyst, which is pretty rough looking stuff, actually. Got a lot of fissures in it. So I'm not expecting the Amethyst to come out pretty, but I'm hoping it worked as good tumbling media to get the Leopard Skin Jasper nice and pretty. Oh yeah, we're cooking a lot of mud out of that stuff. So I'm going to let this go for a good long time and try and get these stones just as clean as I can. All right, these are clean and dry, and we're looking at them under the bright lab lights here. And well, I have to say, for as hard as this stuff was to tumble, I'm not all that impressed with the results. But I think it's more the nature of the material in this case than my technique. First problem. These stones got really small. And that may be a technique issue. I had to take them back a couple of steps in the polishing and start over again because the leopard spots wound up being standing proud and the matrix was being undercut. Okay? So I took them back a couple of steps, started over again, added the Amethyst as a soft tumbling medium to try and help because I figured the medium I was using was too hard. And I got better results. There's certainly not so much undercutting now. But the next problem is that some of these just don't take a good polish. I mean, some areas polish. You can see there's shine there. But some areas just don't polish. Sometimes it's the matrix that doesn't polish. Sometimes it's the leopard spots that don't polish. It's very strange. And I think we had a little bit of reverse undercutting in the polishing stage because by the time I got these into polish, I had solved the undercutting problem. They were nice and smooth everywhere. They looked great wet. But as they're coming out of polish, we've got sort of the reverse of the problem we had before. The leopard spots are a little bit undercut now, and the matrix is standing tall. So that's kind of a weird result. The Amethyst I put in here for the most part is nothing to look at. It did not get as tumbled and polished as the Leopard Spot Jasper did. So most of this stuff I would send back to like stage 2 to start over with. And maybe 1 or 2 pieces come out looking okay. But most of them I would send back to stage 2 to start over. But that's okay. I'm just using this as tumbling media. I've got a ton of it. My buddy Jim sent me a ton of it, so I can use it as tumbling media with softer rocks. I may decide to use that again on some softer rocks I've got as tumbling media. But I think what we'll do is I'll set up my phone on a little mount, and we'll take some close-up looks at some of these rocks, some of the good ones and some of the problematic ones, and see how they look after months of trying to get them nice and tumbled and polished. All right, let's have a look at some of these. This one took a reasonable polish in most places. I'll get a good focus on it here. But I can feel that the leopard spots are a little bit cut down below the level of the matrix. And some of them, as you can see that one right there, right above my thumb, the matrix around it took a nice polish, but the spot itself didn't. Neither did that one. Neither did that one. So, and maybe it's just a matter of them being undercut below the level of the matrix prevented them from polishing. I don't know. But that's, on the whole, not too bad a stone. Here's another one. Similar. This side, the matrix is very interesting and pretty well polished on this side. The leopard spots, again, they seem to be sunk in a little bit. And on the whole, they didn't take a very good polish. But the matrix is pretty darn shiny. Here's another one. This one's a little shinier all over. So even the leopard spots, which are a lot smaller on this rock, seem to take a pretty good polish, and they don't seem to be as recessed under the matrix as with some of the other rocks. Now here's a rock that's a disappointment to me, because this was my favorite rock, I think, going in, with all these red lines through it and stuff. This one hardly took a polish at all. Neither the spots nor the matrix, for the most part, polished. You can see there's a little bit of shine there in that area. But for the most part, it's a very dull rock. I'm not sure why. Maybe just the nature of the matrix and the fact that it has fewer of the leopard spots. There's just less stuff to shine up in this one, I guess. And here's a smaller one. This one, got a little bit of a shine on it here and there, but again, this is one that really did not polish up well at all. For the most part, it's quite dull. I don't know how well the dullness is showing up because the shiny spots are showing up, but most of the rock is quite dull, and it also feels rough. Again, we've got an issue where some stuff is raised and some stuff was undercut, and yeah, we've got a few leopard spots on it. Not a lot. This seems to be mostly matrix with some lines of jasper in it. Here's another stone I'd call problematic. It is mostly dull with just areas of shine. The side with all the leopard spots, that shined up nice. Yeah. The rest of the rock, quite dull. Here's another one. This one not too bad. This one's quite pretty, actually. Pretty smooth. There's a lot less undercutting in this, a little bit on this side. But on the whole, it took a pretty good polish, and that's pretty rock. I just wish they weren't so small, but again, that's probably from having to run them back through a couple of grits again. They just kept getting smaller. They weren't big rocks to start with. What else have we got? Here's another one. This was one of my favorites going in because of the colors of the leopard spots on it. And this one did okay. Again, some of the leopard spots, like this one above my thumb, didn't take a good polish, and I can feel it's a little recessed below the surface. Some of them did take a good polish, and the matrix seems to be polished pretty nice. So on the whole, it's a pretty good stone. It's kind of dull on this side, but most of the stone took a nice polish. I left these in the polish for a long time too. So I checked on them after every week or two, and they're like, well, they're kind of getting there, but they're not as shiny as I'd hoped they'd be. So I just leave them go. But I'm going out of town in a while, so I got to clean out my tumblers. So anyway, here's another one that's pretty decent. I like these lines of jasper through it. They took a pretty good polish. In fact, this whole stone took a pretty good polish, even the leopard spots. Now, here's another one. Got kind of the same lines of jasper in it. And, yeah, kind of dull in places and kind of shiny in places. It's just, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of the story. I'd say about half of them took a pretty decent polish. This is okay. And about, a quarter of them took a polish here and polish there with dull spots. And maybe a quarter of them are just dull, like this one. Okay, it's a little shiny on this side, dead and dull. But this one has almost no leopard spots on it either, so I'm not too worried that this one dead and dull. This must be mostly matrix without any jasper in it. So that's the story of these. Here's another one. This one has some terrible undercutting on it. We got bright area here, shiny area, and this is all dull. All dull through here. Then you get another shiny area and done dull. So that's kind of the story of what's going on with these. The Amethyst, this one here is probably the best polished one of the group. That's pretty nice. The rest of them, well, yeah, they're not so great. Probably, like I said, send these back to stage 2. If I was trying to polish them, I might just set them aside as tumbling media or something else in the future. But I might try this stuff again if I can get some larger pieces. Because these are pretty small now. I know what problems are going to happen with it. So if I can get some larger chunks of this, I might try it again in the future and see if I can make them prettier. But that's kind of the story with this Leopard Skin Jasper this time around. About half of them pretty good, quarter, and a quarter of them no bueno. So there you go. Well, that's my story on the Leopard Skin Jasper, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, it could be better. No, it doesn't all come out perfect. You see everything warts and all on this channel, not just my successes, not just my fantastically, beautifully polished rocks. You see it all. So, not that there aren't a lot of fantastically, beautifully polished rocks, but you see the stuff that doesn't come out so good too. Just so you get, a realistic idea of what's going on when I'm tumbling my rocks here. Anyway, subscribe because there's going to be more videos coming out soon. I've got a lot of rocks that are in the final stages of polishing, and you're going to see a lot more of these final videos coming out here shortly. So subscribe to see those. And if you found this video at all interesting, educational, informative, inspirational, whatever, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.